Welcome to the show, Kiara Advani.
Thank you.
5 years ago, like I said to you, you weren't really on my radar. How much has life changed in the last 5 years?
Work-wise, everything. I finally have work. It's so bad to say, but there were those days, 5 years ago when I was literally like, what do I do? How do I fill up my day? I need a routine. I need something to look forward to because this isn't a 9 to 5 job. This isn't, you don't know your next move. You don't know what's going to happen next. So for me, just getting through every day was trying to fill it up. And some days would be like 3 hours of work, 5 hours of work. And now it's like 12 hours is a minimum.
Wow.
And I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything else. And I'm just so lucky that I get to do what I love and I'm being paid for it. So that's great.
Now, you describe your own struggle as something you feel uncomfortable talking about because you thought it was unfair to call it a struggle. Why was that?
I think today with social media and people constantly, everyone knows everything about you. So when you talk about anything, you're just judged, even if no one really... Also, social media is something you only see a part of who you really are. No one sees the layers and the depths beneath that person. So if I put up a picture with a school friend of mine who happened to be an heiress in our country, and if I said that I struggle, it was like, how dare she? She's best friends with Isha Ambani. I'm like, but so what? I am not her. Like that has nothing to do with my work life. That has nothing to do with what I go through on a daily basis. But that's fine. I'm okay. I'm not complaining because, like I told you earlier before we started this interview, if it wasn't for that struggle or for those failures, I won't be the person I am today. And I like this person a lot, actually.
Let's burst the bubble then for all those horrible people who make judgments about you, who don't know you, who have no right to, and didn't go to school with you and didn't grow up with you. How much does it help then, being friends with or family friends with Salman Khan and Juhi Chawla? Does that get you into the movies?
I don't know how much it helps. I think maybe there's a feeling of security, I feel like, sure, I can meet people. Initially, when I joined, when Fugly was my first film, I actually, because I knew him, I didn't have a management team at that time. But because I knew him, I got the chance to meet a particular agency who was also handling his work. I got to meet certain producers and directors, but that didn't translate into my next couple of films. So in terms of work, I'm sure, like you said, it can open the doors. But I don't think that can get you a film. I don't even think being a star kid can really get you, your next film because it is a business at the end of the day. Like today, fortunately, touch wood, I've got exciting work that I'm doing. I'm doing 2 films where I play the protagonist and helm those films, and they're both female-oriented films, and it is a little bit of pressure because I understand that I have to deliver because here are people who've invested so much and believed in me to play out this character. So I want to live up to it.
What are the most common misconceptions that people have about Kiara Advani and her journey into stardom that you'd like to just pop that little bubble right there?
So people think I come from... my parents have worked very hard, but people think that because I live in South Bombay, I come from a very... I hate saying that word, but it just sounds so weird. But like, oh, she's a rich girl or something like that.
Yeah.
Rich in love, rich in culture, rich in all of that, yes. Undoubtedly, yes. But otherwise, I think I am someone who's making my own life. Yes, I'm not paying rent. But that's also because my parents don't want me to move out of the house. Or otherwise, like I said, I would love to live in my own home someday. So those are goals. Those are part of my, my wish list of things and bucket list that I want to do. But I'm someone who's working really hard to check off all those things on that bucket list.
The fact that you do live in South Bombay, does that give you a little bit of distance from this bubble? Because it can be consuming, right?
Completely. And thankfully now my parents have also stopped asking me they're not from the industry, but like every single person, the entertainment industry is so exciting and the link up stories and like this movie and that movie, and today, like with social media, everyone's a critic. My parents know about box office, and I'm like, but how does it matter to you? So fortunately, they've stopped asking me those questions, because I'm like, I come back from work with all the people I talk to about all these things, and I want to come home and talk about something completely different. I want you to tell me about the news, because I don't know anything that's happening in the world. Tell me about things that I don't know, enrich me with other, parts of life. And now they started doing that. But yeah, I mean, it's just driving back home. For my friends, they don't watch too many Bollywood movies. They watch mine because they're very loyal. They watch a few of the big ones, and then I mean, everything's then on Netflix or digital. So for them, they're not as starstruck. Bombay is not as starstruck. I've realized that. And South Bombay is definitely not. You can walk to a restaurant and have a meal and nobody would care to even... I mean, they may see you and they may tell the other person, but very few people would really come up and bother you or want a picture or something like that.
But haven't you worked so hard for people to recognize you?
Absolutely. So when I come here, I'm like, yeah, I made it to Bandra. They all come and I'm like, okay, let's do it. How many ever? But now, no. But like you said, I should change that, because now, since I think I would say after 2019, especially for me, I've had a lot of that. I've had people in my building come to meet me. I've had them come. If they see me down, because I go and work out in the garden in my building, and they'll probably see from their windows, and then they'll come and wait till I finish working out and get a picture. And although I'm sweaty and I really don't want to give it up, I'm like, okay, let's just do it, because you made the effort to come down. And like you said, I mean, I've worked so hard for this.
Like you said, you're still trying to figure it out. Despite delivering two of the highest grossing films of 2019, Kabir Singh and Good News, you're still trying to figure it out. Is this an industry where you're constantly learning about how it actually works?
Yeah, I mean, from everything, from the way people, perceive you, to the way your films do, it all changes every Friday. I mean, I saw, even just from Kabir Singh to Good News, I saw a massive difference.
Describe that difference.
So I think like I said, I started by telling you that I like the person I am. I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose touch with that. And that's why I feel I don't want to... So I've not actually sat and allowed myself to completely enjoy the success that 2019 has been. I am in touch with the parts of my life that were rocky. And I feel that that's one thing that has kept me grounded, when I've not taken it. It's like, okay, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I want to give it my best. I don't want to ever regret that I didn't give it my best. But I don't want that success to feel like... I don't want to be aware of it. I don't want to be, like, it shouldn't feel tangible.
But when you've worked so hard to achieve that success, don't you want to revel in it a little bit? Don't you want to, I imagine, and you can tell me better, but, Kabir Singh was such a phenomena.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the other issues in a moment, but it was such a phenomena. It was such a rage. It was a consuming movement, not just in this country, but internationally. People went and watched this film again and again and again, and they felt some connection with Preeti's character and Kabir's pain. And when you've touched people in such a way, don't you want to revel in it a little bit?
But revel in it, and I mean, I have. Of course, I've enjoyed it. I celebrated it with my loved ones. I've celebrated with the people when they come up to me. And I love the ones who come up just to talk about it. I think it's so amazing that someone has just made that character their own and felt like Preeti is, or Kabir is such an important... I mean, it's just been a character that I've loved so much and all that. And it's amazing. But I can't live with that. I mean, then it's like... Now Monica has to be that character. That was the focus. And now when I look at the other characters that I'm playing, I'm like, now goals, bro. Now you got to get the other ones loved like that.
When you've had a point in your career, a phase in your career, let's say between 2014, 16, 17, even post MS Dhoni, where there's that moment of self-doubt. Yeah. Am I deserving of this? Do people think I've just got this because of my connections? Am I even good enough for this? When you've had those moments of self-doubt, do they ever creep in when something succeeds later down the line? When Kabir Singh or Good News became the big hit films that they are, did that self-doubt ever crawl in or creep in again?
So for me, it's a bit of the opposite. I didn't have self-doubt during Dhoni, Fugly, Machine, Love Stories. I knew, I was like, I can act. Like, no one's taking that away from me. But then when Kabir Singh came, and with the amount that was spoken and written, that's when I started thinking of a lot of things. But I remember a call that came to me from an actor that I really admire, a female actor that I admire, and she called me and she said she loved my performance, she loved the film. She had her issues, like lots of people have their issues with, when you like get into debating characters, and that's fine, it's great, it's artistic, that's what this medium is, it's up for discussion. But she said you should pat your back for what you've done, because it's, this is you and Shahid together. And even Shahid, I remember at the screening, he looked at me like, why are you looking so worried? Our film is, look at the love you're getting. Like, everyone was coming out crying and hugging us. And it was like this overwhelming moment that I think the audience experienced with us while watching the film. But I was so nervous. And I don't know whether it was because I knew we were on the brink of something that's going to change maybe our lives forever, or whether that self-doubt came that, okay, am I deserving? Is this good? Am I really good? Like, I was looking for all the answers which I didn't have, because there was so much conflicting opinions that were doing the rounds.
Does it ever make it a bittersweet experience, the success of Kabir Singh? Because, when you're so new, and
Yeah.
I know you've been, time-wise, you've been here for a few years, but in number of films, this is still relatively new. And it's such a big hit. But then people are criticizing a character. Yeah. Does it at all make it a bittersweet experience? And do you ever start worrying that people are judging your personal morality by the morality of your character?
I did. I think that the word you used, bittersweet, is actually, you just summed it up for me. I think that's exactly how it was, because it was beautiful, overwhelming. Everywhere I go, I still get the Preeti, Preeti, Preeti. Every picture I upload, the comments are always Preeti, Preeti, and the memes are still going on, which I had coming on the bike. So it's there. It's a character that people will, I know, always remember me with, and it's special. But it does, when you read a lot of people criticizing it, it becomes very personal, because I gave so much. I gave over like 3 months to that character, and I even remember when I was getting onto the sets of Good News, it was about a week after shooting for Kabir Singh.
What a 180-degree turn,
and I was trying my first year, I was still trying to detach Preeti from myself, because it's such an internalized character. No one will understand that experience except for the actor. But I think somewhere I knew that when Good News came out, and it did happen, because I don't think people who, the ones who had bought Preeti in and thought this is it, Kiara is Preeti, they saw Monica and they're like, she can do that? Yeah. So that was what I was waiting for, and that happened. And that's when I was like, the confidence is back, my friend.
So we are in December 2019 now, which is the release of your first major multi-starrer with the biggest star in this country, Akshay Kumar. So there's Akshay Kumar, Kareena Kapoor Khan, Diljit Dosanjh, who is the king of Punjab as well, and Kiara Advani. What a moment for you, hey?
Absolutely. On set, I was just like, whoa. I mean, like, this was my childhood, my dream, everything. But I think when you work with, actors of their caliber and just icons, Kareena Kapoor, I have grown up loving this woman. So standing next to her, sharing screen space in a song, it's like, this was my moment. I don't know other people like her. I had a blast. I was just like, I can learn so much.
You know all the Pooh dialogues?
Everything. I would say it to her. Sometimes when like her Mickey would come and get the mirror in front and she'd be doing her touch. I'm like, so Bebo, are you thinking, how dare you? She's like, just shut up.
Did you ever say to her, movie tonight?
Tell me how it was. It was one big party. Like, everyone would look forward to going on the sets of Good News. And I think that energy really translated on screen.
You struck a really good balance, because your character is this loud, bubbly Punjabi woman who's married to Diljit's character, who's also loud, fun, bubbly Punjabi person. And it's very easy to make that character a caricature, make it gimmicky, make it, like a cartoon. So how did you make sure that you didn't cross that line?
So Raj, when he narrated the script to me, the only person I think who he grilled down and did a lot of readings was me.
Right.
So we prepped a lot, because Diljit is I mean, Diljit was actually, this part was as though it was written for him.
Yeah, he was in his element.
Of course, Kareena and Akshay were, I mean, they didn't need that prep. But for me, not only was it completely out of my comfort zone, we had to really get the language, get the body language, everything. I mean, now that you know me, or those who know me, it's a completely different personality. But while we were doing those readings, we made sure, and we actually kept in mind, we said, we don't want to make it caricature. We wanted people who come from there to see it and be like, this is exactly like us. And that's what happened. A lot of Punjabis, they were like, oh my God, you played that part exactly the way, like we are, our friends are, the accent. And in fact, Diljit told me, he said, there's a little scene which is where I'm talking on the phone to an aunt who's at a kitty party before Kareena comes and we go and have that pani puri. And there's a scene where I'm on the phone and I'm basically asking her what's happening, how's it back there, and I'll come, my husband and I will be coming once our baby's born. And he's like, the way you said it, like how two ladies, kitty pe ho. So all of that, he's like, that's so cute, because that's exactly how they talk.
Kiara, I don't think any female actress in Bollywood right now has the kind of slate of films that you have, and particularly in the period of 12 months. Yeah. It's insane. Every time a film was being announced for the last few months, it was only your name that was popping up with it. Tell me how excited you are about this lineup, and tell me whatever you want to say about any of these movies.
So I begin with Guilty. So from all the characters that I've played this far, I think somewhere I could see a bit of myself in them, or it was a little closer to who I am as a person. But with Guilty, the character that I play, right from her hair color to every part of her body, it was literally like every day I would get on set. I mean, of course, eventually, because we shot, at a stretch, consecutive days, I was eventually in character. But my first few days, it was like I would get out of Kiara and get into Nanki, which is the character I'm playing. We workshopped very hard for this film. Then we have Lakshmi Bomb. It's my first horror comedy. I'm one of those people. My first horror film was actually Bhool Bhulaiya, which I ever watched. So now doing Bhool Bhulaiya 2 is like, I'm taking the franchise forward. But Lakshmi Bomb and Bhool Bhulaiya are completely different, though they're both in the horror comedy space. So Lakshmi Bomb comes out first. It's also a remake of a South film, the Kanchana series. We have the same director who's directing our film as well. Then there is Sher Shah. It's on the life of our war hero, who won the Kargil War for us, Vikram Batra. I play his love interest in the film Dimple. I've met her when I was in Chandigarh. It's one of the most beautiful stories I have ever heard. She's not married. She is she never got married to him, but till date she lives with him in her heart. And I think they don't make love stories like that. So I think it's one of the most charming stories, and it's also a beautiful heroic story. And then there is Indu Ki Jawani, which I'm super excited about. This is my first in and as. It starts off with a dating app, and what happens, she's a very sweet, endearing small town girl who gets onto this dating app, and then there are a lot of exciting turn of events that happen from there. So that's how what my year is looking like. So excited for this year.
I mean, should be more than exciting. This is a dream come true.
This is a dream come true.
And, with the others, you also have male stars who are helping, carry the load. And there will be a lot of expectations from you, but there will be a lot of expectations from them too. But with something like Indu Ki Jawani, this is going to be a test for whether you can draw people into the cinemas. Yeah. No pressure. But do you feel...
no pressure.
Do you feel
no pressure at all.
An added sense of responsibility with that? Because here, a producer has actually invested money in you.
I do. I honestly do. And I know it's going to be much more pressurizing closer to the release of that film. I don't know when we're going to release the film. We haven't fixed on a release date. So that's the least pressure right now. But once that date is fixed, I know there's going to be pressure. What I am confident about is the script. It's something that I instantly loved. And that's why I did it. Because when I said yes to the film, it was for the script. I didn't actually think, oh my God, but I'll be the reason. Will the audience come in? What'll happen? So I'm just going by that script. And I feel today, if a script is good and a story is good, we will get an audience in. So I hope so. So I'm going to take off the pressure and be like, focus on the film. But let's see. I mean, I hope so. I think, I mean, of course, it'll, you know, I'll even know where I stand if people just come in because of me. But I think there's still time for that to happen. I think I have a lot more to do before that. But I really hope that Indu is a film that people want to come and watch because it's a really endearing story. It's a really, really endearing story. And it's extremely funny. It's a complete comedy. So again, it's my second time that I'm, after Good News, that I'll be getting back into the comedy space. Actually, Lakshmi Bomb and Bhool Bhulaiya 2 has a lot of comedy, but I think Indu is an out-and-out comedy, so it'll be interesting.
What's been that kind of dreamlike moment for you so far where you feel like, I've arrived? Because I tell you what's a really big sign of whether you've arrived is if you've been invited to Mr. Amitabh Bachchan's Diwali party.
I did, and last year was my first time. So then have I? I guess so. If you're saying that's the barometer, then...
Describe that.
Then yes.
We're here in Mumbai celebrating 50 years of Amitabh Bachchan as well. And for me, when it comes to you, when I saw you standing outside his house, clicking those pictures before going into his party, I was like, she's a star. She's
How
arrived.
sweet.
So tell me how that feels. You know, when somebody like Amitabh Bachchan gives you that respect, invites you to his party, how does that feel for you?
I mean, it's really overwhelming. It's a huge honor to be invited to one of his gatherings. The first time I ever went to his home, and a lovely occasion like Diwali. I met his daughter a couple of times before as well, Shweta, and they very sweetly invited me, and it was a lovely evening. So I think, like you said, I think it is a big moment. You know, these are milestones for an upcoming actor when you get invited to Mr. Bachchan's Diwali party, and when all these firsts happen, it's definitely... You know you're on the right path for sure.
Kiara, well, here's to many more Diwali parties, many more hit films, and many more conversations like this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to keep up to date. For more great audio and video from the BBC, listen on Sounds, watch on iPlayer.